Podcast Rock City.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City. Want to thank everybody that listened to the show last week. I know that there was a little bit of technical difficulty on the YouTube page. Just so you know, I will repost that show probably today, and make sure you go ahead and give it a listen if you had any problems listening to it on an iPad or any kind of pad or a phone or something like that. For some reason it wasn't playing. It doesn't make any sense to me, but technology is strange. Anyway, let's talk about the NHL KISS performance. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I really thought it was bad. The playing was fine. Paul's voice, I wasn't very pleased with it, and apparently a lot of other people are unhappy. I don't know. Is this ever going to heal? Is this ever going to get better? Because the last time I saw them in Atlanta, they were pretty good. Paul didn't sound awful. And then the Kiss Cruise performance on Kiss Cruise 3, I watched a bunch of it, and it didn't sound bad. But last night's performance, Detroit Rock City, you could see it and hear it that he was not comfortable. He didn't sing it the way we love Paul Stanley singing. And it's almost, I have a friend that says it's an embarrassment, but I don't know if it's an embarrassment. It's not that. Is he like any one of us that we love doing something so much, and even though you might be on your last leg of doing, you just don't want to give up? And despite what people tell you, you're not going to listen to them because you love doing what you're doing so much. And then you'll get those people that be like, oh, he's only doing it for money, but he doesn't need the money. That's bull. It's not about money. It's probably more about pride than anything else. When somebody comes to you and says, you shouldn't do that anymore, then you want to do it. You want to do it more. I wonder if he's sitting back today, and probably not. He doesn't give a crap. But I wonder if he's sitting back going, man, I was not good last night. I wonder how often lately he thinks that, But for whatever kind of contractual reasons, he has to keep moving forward, even though he may not want to, or he doesn't care. He may think that he sounds wonderful, but, we as KISS fans, we've been listening to him since birth, basically. I became a fan when I was about 7 years old, and I know that some of you are going to go, oh, well, you were just a kid, and, you don't understand, that you're the reason KISS got ruined or whatever. But I've been listening to them my whole life, basically, and Paul Stanley is not. First and foremost, he's my favorite member of KISS. I love Paul Stanley. Man, there's no performer I would rather give my $50 and bang out a show and watch Paul Stanley. And to be fair, I've been to a lot of concerts, and even bad Paul Stanley is better than a lot of good other bands. But I'm almost to the point now where I'm like, should he hang it up? Should he sit back and go, look, I did my thing, I lasted longer than anybody said I was going to last. I've made more money, sold more records, had a successful everything. There's nothing that he hasn't done that's been, successful. I wonder if he should sit back and go, that's it. I'm done. I don't feel like I can cut it like I used to. It's all about when KISS gets on that stage, you get your money's worth. And to me, if Paul Stanley's not singing like Paul Stanley, I'm not getting my money's worth. That's why I go to the show. I don't go to the, I enjoy Gene Simmons. I have buddies that call me a Kool-Aid drinker because I go to the shows, even though there's, Replace Fraley and, Eric Singer on the stage, but I go because I love the music. And once Paul Stanley can't sing, that's when the music is dead to me, because Gene Simmons is always going to sound like Gene Simmons. Actually, if you listen to Gene Simmons, he doesn't sound like Gene Simmons in the 70s. It's just different. He doesn't have that Gene Simmons growl, when he sings. But once Paul Stanley is done, I mean, he's the mouthpiece of the band. If he can't do his high notes and sing, and he has to, speak words in songs rather than sing words of songs, come on, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to go and I want to see Paul Stanley. And, he's older. I understand that, but what do you think? Do you think that after this performance yesterday in front of the whole world on national television, the NHL made a huge deal about this? We all waited, and we were so excited because we were going to get to see KISS on television, and it didn't cost us anything, and we got to see them do a big bombastic thing, and then, Rock and Roll All Night I thought sounded fine. And one of my friends told me that they thought that Detroit Rock City seemed to be played slow, but I didn't hear that at all. But, Paul's voice was not good. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. And some of you might be sitting at home right now going, "Screw you, Joe. I thought it was awesome." But if you sit back and you really think about it, put something on. Listen to Detroit Rock City from 10 years ago, 5 years ago. From just 5 years ago, it was 1,000% better than it was yesterday. On Monday, when your friends come up to you and go, "I saw KISS on television during that hockey game," what are you going to say if they say to you, "I didn't think it was good"? Are you going to say, "Man, you should really have heard them years ago"? Or are you going to buck up and go, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about. It was really good"? And what are you going to say if they walk up to you and they go, "Hey, man, I saw KISS. They were awesome"? Are you going to go, "Yeah, they were"? Because they weren't. Paul. I mean, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for this, but I stick up for this band more than most people. But this was not good. So that brings us to our topic of the week. How bad was this performance? Rate it. Let's see. A 1 is awful. A 10 is awesome. I don't think I'm going to get very many 10s. And if you're out there and you're going to give it a 1 because Paul Stanley wasn't all that great, I mean, for the most part, the music was good. Gene sang fine. The fireworks were cool. The stage looked cool. I mean, so be fair, but be honest. So if you thought it was a 1, give it a 1. I'm sure most of you that are listening to this have seen KISS multiple times. So rate it upon that. How many times you've seen them. If you've seen them 20 times and one time was amazing, and then this time was just like god awful, you give it whatever you give it. But a 1 is awful. A 10 is amazing. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be having a guest on or two. I've been talking to Matt Porter. Check out the KISS Room. And I've been talking to Jody Havnot on Strange Ways. Check those guys out. They're totally cool. Their shows are awesome. They're a ton of fun. Jody's most recent show, they had a Q&A where you guys got to send in questions and they answered the questions. I thought that was a great show. They even answered a couple of my questions, and I really appreciated that. That was kind of fun. Matt's show is always awesome. He also has a wrestling show, so if you're into wrestling, check that out as well. He's a big wrestling fan. Anyway, okay, so there we go. That's our 10 minutes. Rate KISS's performance. send right under the YouTube thing, or send me a letter at podcastrockcity1, that's the number 1, at gmail.com. Podcastrockcity1 at gmail.com. If you haven't seen it while you're listening to this, after this is over, turn it off, go to kissonline.com and check it out. Also, a couple other websites that I want you to check out. Kiss Asylum is a great website. I love it very much. They promote my show, and they're very friendly. I cannot say enough how supportive they are. Kiss FAQ is everything that you want. Anything Kiss is another really good website. They all have, I think they all have Facebooks. Go on there and like them. Like my Facebook page, Podcast Rock City. That would be really appreciated. I'm going to start on podcastrockcity.com posting full concerts that I rip off the web. Probably today. I'm going to throw an Atlanta show on there today. It's a full reunion concert, and I'll leave it up there for just a little bit, and then I'll take it down and I'll put a new one up. Just go to podcastrockcity.com. If you're bored sitting at home, slap that sucker on and watch it, or at work. I don't really get the opportunity to do a lot of that at work, but some of you might have downtime and listen to this show then, and that's appreciated. Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing your comments about this, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.